One, two, and three. Today I'll be interviewing a guest which I watched this video and thank you so much for uploading your um, deck profile for Cyber Dragons because I love Cyber Dragons and I think that your touch on it is pretty cool. Now, can you introduce to yourself to the audience, please? My audience is a little bit different from what normal audiences. It's not YouTuber, but my passion about interviewing people is a little bit different. I want to get perspective of why people like to do what they do, their passion, and why you're into Yu-Gi-Oh. Obviously, you know that I love Yu-Gi-Oh because I have all the Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So, can you introduce yourself, please, to the audience?
Sure. I am Cybernut. I make a lot of different Yu-Gi-Oh! Mainly openings, I guess, these days on YouTube, and also do some new stuff and different things. And I try to show people new products that are releasing for Yu-Gi-Oh! And try to explain it to the best of my ability, because I'm more casual than than competitive, I guess. So I do a lot of that, do some net profiles, and just a
Really,
mix of anything
sorry.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
What make you? Can you go back to the story where? I mean, not back to the story. Can you go back to the time? How did you begin into Yu-Gi-Oh or started in Yu-Gi-Oh?
In like getting into YouTube or just Yu-Gi-Oh! In general?
Yeah, no. Oh no. Well, we'll get to that later. But I meant like, how did you get introduced into playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Because you know how like we have all these nostalgic, the Blue Eyes and the Dark Magician. Can you talk about that?
Mhm. I was introduced to it at school because at first I collected Pokemon and Digimon when they had that card game, and my friends were talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was like, oh, that looks cool, and started just buying some packs. I remember actually even getting a Legend of Blue Eyes pack back in the day, and actually built a deck using Umi, which is the old, the ocean build spell. And I remember one of my friends always had Black Skull Dragon, and this is before we knew you actually had a fusion summon. He thought you could just play it. And I remember him always using that, and it was, we dueled against each other a lot. And just from there, I started watching the show and got into it, really.
Interesting. Have you? What was your favorite card? Oh yeah, you often talk about why your name you like the knight, but why Cyber Knight? Why knight though?
Um, I I don't really have a good answer. It's like how I used to have numbers in my name. Those numbers too. People always ask what did they mean. They didn't really mean anything. They just became part of the channel because it's not like it's my birthday or anything. But with Cybernaut, I don't know. I just thought it sounded cool. Honestly, I wish I had a cool story for it. But I like Cyber Dragon, so that's where the cyber came from. And Knight, I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So I went with that.
Interesting. Why do you like Cyber Dragon? What's the enticing thing about Cyber Dragon you like?
I always like Cyber Dragon just because I like different decks that go for fusions a lot. I'm a big fan of GX. That's one of my favorite series. Even though a lot of people don't talk about GX, I still love it. And I like Cyber Dragon just because you can fuse, and even today you can still fuse some of their cards together and just wipe out your opponent so easily if they're not paying attention. So I've always liked them because you don't want to underestimate them because you can end up making like an 8,000 attack cyber end and just run over your opponent, and that's still something you can do today. So I've always liked them for that.
Yeah. What was it? I bought because of you. I bought the Cyber Eternity
Mhm.
Dragon. It's incredible. Just for the defense. Just for it, do you mainly collect? Do you also collect them? But also because I noticed myself, I like the artwork. These amazing artwork where I didn't know that they exist until I keep. Last year, I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh,
Mhm.
but I bought the starter deck, and it was frustrating because these starter decks aren't like I can't defeat my friends because we would play Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day in boarding school.
Mhm.
And can you explain to me how like these games progress over the years?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part.
Oh, can you explain to me how you know how like back in the day when
Mhm.
the game was really slow and now it's really fast and how it's really hard because basically when I get back into it,
Mhm.
it was so hard to learn all these mechanics.
Yeah, back in the day, I remember. well, I still remember the days where we barely even had fusion summoning. I mean, it was always out, but not many people fused. It was until GX where that became, and then it got a little faster, and it's always, of course, changed. Best way I can compare it is that's the reason I like speed dueling now is because it reminds me of that. I feel like that's the best way I can try to explain it to people. That because you are using it was back then you basically would just use a strong monster. So that's what I did. I played like Kaiba. You would try to use whatever strongest monster you had. You could summon easily. You wanted to have Blue Eyes White Dragon, and yeah, most people didn't even use the extra deck from what I remember back in the day. Maybe here and there, but again, most of the time we didn't even understand how they worked. I mean, because even the show Flame Swordsman, Joey would just summon him. So I still remember a lot of that and how just different it was. And it was still we joke about it nowadays, but it's still one of those things where it's like you had Blue Eyes, you won back in the day. In most cases. So it's changed so much nowadays compared to that.
That is so true. Mission in life is to impact the nation
Mhm.
or the education of the world. Because I was a special education, and I thought it was stupid. I also, do you think the current educational system could change a lot of things, in your opinion? Or what's your educational was like?
Um, I don't know. Like,
Well, it's kind of hard, I know, but like, it's a topic that is a passion dear to me too. That's why I
mhm.
want to bring people in here to talk about.
So you mean like how it's changed so much, how it's a lot harder to explain nowadays, kind of?
Well, okay, so basically, I had trouble in. So basically, okay, for instance,
Mhm.
the the way that we measure intelligence is through grades, right? But we all
Mhm.
know that intelligence are in different ways, right?
Mhm.
Like for instance, I hate history. I wouldn't do well, but I kind of like math today, so I get what B or A. That's the type of thing. Like I feel like people make education school important. I mean, I don't. That's why I was asking what is your background before I get into it. It's just my story.
For me, I mean, I always made pretty good grades. I've only gone through high school. I hadn't done any college. I've been thinking about maybe going back and doing some, but I've kind of gotten where this YouTube thing's been doing pretty well, and I also do construction work. So I'm on school stuff though. I've never been a fan of school stuff. I finished even um, through homeschooling. I was able to do it. Like I went till my freshman year, and then I was able
Hmm.
to finish up my last 3 years through Tech Online. And I've always just honestly just not been a big fan of school stuff anyway. I don't like how a lot of it works. I mean, even in Texas, we have like the tax test, or I think it's the STAR test now or whatever. So that used to be stressful. I remember because if you didn't pass that test, that was going to be if you went to the next grade or even graduated. It's a big thing over here. And it's funny that you say you didn't like history. That was like the one subject I did really good in, too. That was the one I enjoyed. And math was ugh.
Hmm. Interesting. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for that. Like, because for I don't know how for me we've been getting a bad rap from
Mhm.
millennials. People bash on us and like because basically you're doing your dream as a YouTuber, and I want to inspire that for many people who like Yu-Gi-Oh and not just only watch YouTubers, but watch maybe they can follow their dream as you follow your passion. Because I don't like it when people like blame circumstances or like I mean sometimes I feel like they can change. That's
Mhm.
my mission in life. Things have changed for me. What make you start your YouTube channel?
Yeah. It's well
Like what made you sorry, go ahead.
being able to do this has helped me out a lot because I don't talk about this much. Like I don't even know if I've said it in my videos, but I have really bad anxiety, like social anxiety. So it's kind of funny that I'm doing this now.
Hmm.
Like I'm a person that doesn't like to talk in front of a lot of people, and now I don't even think about it. But now I have all these people that watch my videos. So it's cool how this has changed because like I said, this first off, this is something like my parents were like, really, you're doing this because not that they were against it. They're just like they know how. I have my anxiety and stuff, so they think it's cool that I'm actually doing this. So I will say it's been really neat how I've been able to do this now for quite a few years, and it's opened up a lot of doors and even helped with Dylan with my issues. I mean, that's honestly one of the reasons too why I don't go to a lot of tournaments and stuff is because I have bad anxiety. It's something I've been working on. So being able to do this, it's been a really cool dream, and it's even helped with dealing with like that barrier or whatever you want to call it that is tough to deal with when you have all the anxiety.
Well, thank you so much for that. That's pretty cool. That's really touching. Thank you so much for that. Like, wow. Yeah, that's what I've been. Are you introverted?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Are you introverted?
Oh yeah, very badly.
Yeah, yeah. That's what my message is like. You like because see the thing is you're doing your passion, and my message for all those who love Yu-Gi-Oh as I do and as you do, that they can wait, like they can live the life that they dreamed of instead of trying to say introverted can't win, stuff like that. Because my mission is also to help, even though my content is a little bit different, but my mission is to be able to say, even though, because when I was a kid, elementary school, I was shy. I didn't know how to talk to people. And then until I start reading books, because school didn't help me on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I start reading books on how to talk to people. So do you have any fears, or do you have any fears and how you overcome them?
With mine, it's just always with that anxiety. Like I even have a hard time going to Walmart and stuff because just so many people. That's something I deal with where, and the way I get over a lot of it is I'm just like, sometimes I try to look at my phone more, which is, easier these days, of course. And I have to kind of think like I'm in another spot. Like I have to kind of ignore everyone around me, kind of, which I know sounds weird probably, but uh, yeah, that's pretty much what I try to do on it. But I've always had bad anxiety, like ever since I was younger. So that's always been something I've tried to overcome. And again, with this YouTube stuff, it's been something helpful. And I mean, it was hard enough. What was it? 2 years ago, I think there was a convention. I was actually invited as a guest, and that whole time it was really crowded, and I just wanted to run out of there so bad. But I was like, no, I gotta be there. If there's anybody that knows who I am, I gotta meet them. You gotta meet, your fans or viewers. Always feel weird saying fans, but viewers. And I made myself sit there. I was like, no, we got to do this because, without them, none of this happens. So I remember that I was fighting it the whole time, like, please calm down. And I still have, like I said, a very hard time with it.
Wow. Do you also do you watch other also anime besides Yu-Gi-Oh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I watch. I don't consider myself like a big time anime watcher, but I watch a lot of the popular stuff. Like of course Dragon Ball. I watch all that. Naruto, Bleach is still like one of my favorites because it helped me get through school. Just because another world.
Wait, did you watch the live action one for Bleach?
I'm sorry. What was that?
Wait, what was it? Wait, what did you say at the end? Toward the end? Sorry, I got excited because you were talking about Bleach and stuff like that. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, well, Bleach. I've always thought of it as like one of my favorites because it helped me out a lot. Just it was one of those things I look forward to after school because I hated going to school too. So that that's always been one of my favorites for that reason. Death Note. I've been watching a lot of Overlord lately and My Hero, but pretty much the popular stuff. I'm not really one of those guys that's like I watch like this indie or anything like that. I'm just like I'm pretty simple on it. Where if it's some kind of new show in anime, more than likely I'll watch it.
Did you watch the Bleach live action one? And what did you think about it?
I haven't yet. I don't have Netflix, so I need to check it out.
Oh,
My sister has Netflix, so I need to borrow her account or something. But I haven't. I've heard it was okay. I've heard it's a lot better than the Death Note one, but I don't know.
Wait, are you talking about? Wait, are you talking? You saw the Death Note one for the Japanese version, right?
Yeah, I have seen those, but I know that recently, I think on Netflix or something, they did an English adaptation or something.
Yeah,
I hadn't seen that. I've heard it was bad, but I hadn't seen it.
No, okay. What do you think about these expensive cards that people are buying? Because you do a lot of products reviews.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's something that happens in every card game. Like there's always those cards that are always going to be tougher to get. I am really tired of the short prints that we're seeing these days, though. Like with Infinity Chasers, like I don't get why there's so many short prints in that set. Like even Medusa was super rare tough to get. And I mean, I feel like I guess with Yukio, there's always going to be more expensive cards, but I do think we need to stop a lot of the short print stuff. Like it needs to be a little bit more middle of the road, like because it's just with any card game. Like I said, there's going to be one that's going to be more expensive because that's going to be the one that's good and people are going to want to try to get. But also, we need to make sure that we're not going to have too many cards that are like, you might get one per case or something. It need like I said, a little bit more middle of the road. I feel like on it needs to calm down a bit.
Mm. When it comes to the way, would you? I'm thinking of because I'm thinking so many. Do you, when it comes to like also anime, do you like act it out? Sorry, because I do when I watch anime like Dragon Ball Z or Yu-Gi-Oh. I usually act it out. Do you usually act it out?
Not really. I mean, sometimes if I play one of the games, I'll start shouting as I'm playing it. Like Xenoverse, go Super Saiyan, 3 on it, and then I have fun on that kind of stuff. But I guess when I was younger, I used to
What's
think about
your,
it more like if I was, one of the heroes. But
hmm, you say heroes. You say heroes. What is there like? Do you think yourself as also a hero?
oh no, I always have a hard time talking about anything like that. Like I
Mm,
even, it sounds weird, but I even hate saying like on my channel fans. I usually just like to say viewers or subscribers because I'm like I have a hard time believing that someone's a fan of my channel. It just I don't know. Maybe it's just modesty or something, but it just I don't know. I feel undeserving in a way, and uh, I just try to I don't know. I guess it's with my anxiety or whatever. I'm just kind of like whatever, I just try to hopefully people like what I'm making, and I just don't really think of myself as being that many subscribers or anything, honestly.
hmm. What make you say yes to my interviews?
No problem.
Just curious. No. I mean, like, I'm thankful for like letting me interview, but like, what make you let me do interviewing you? That's the thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, like how say
Okay.
what like what make you say yes to my interview? That's what I'm saying. Because I try to get other YouTubers onto the talk, but what make you say yes?
Um, I don't know. I try to answer people, and if they want to do some kind of video with me, I usually try to do it. So I was like, hey, I have the free time, sure. So I don't know. I just try to if people, which I don't answer everything like I should, but if people try to come to me and ask a question or they want to do a video with me, I always try to make time because again, I mean, it just none of this happens without you guys. So I always try to make sure to do
Wow.
that.
Wow, thank you so much for that. I today you make my day. Like while watching you open packs and talk about packs, it's pretty incredible. It was last year, so last year it started with so you probably heard of Simply Unlucky. Roman start opening a pack, and I
Mhm.
start watching all you guys. It's pretty cool. It's been pretty cool journey. Tough most of the time. Wow, like because I built the Thunder Dragons wishly. It's not. It's like wow. That's not like because I try to test out all these decks, try to see which one is my favorite, like Elemental Sabers or I forgot. I almost forgot about these. What do you think about Elemental Hero? Because Elemental Hero, my friend, back in the day, I never understood about I never watched GX
Mhm.
or 5Ds. I got introduced to it through my friends.
Mhm.
So I start playing Jaden, Yusei, all these decks. But Elemental Hero is one of my favorite decks. You think they should have a reprint? I mean, not reprint, retrain?
Um, I don't know. I mean, I love Elemental Heroes too. That was one of my decks that I actually played competitively when I did when I had a locals and all that. I was the only one at school that actually had all the fusions, so I remember that a lot. So they're really nostalgic for me. Um, I don't know if you really could do a retrain or what. It would be cool to like see an effect version of Avion or Stenatrix or something, and
Yeah.
make them kind of work better. But heroes always get so much support. Like I feel like they're one of those that don't really need a retrain. Like they just keep getting new things. Like they just update. So I don't know if I would say retrain on it, but I wouldn't be against it. Obviously, anything that heroes get. I mean, it's one of those archetypes. It's like Dragoonides or something too. It's like, yeah, if they get something new, I'm on board. But I feel like
Oh
they'll
yeah.
get new support to make them better instead of retrains.
The thing I remember you said one of in your video that you like Dragoonity. But it's thanks to you that because I've been trying to build around the because Spatian has been an issue. Do it, but it doesn't work sometimes. But
Mm-hmm.
with your build, with you put it dark, you put what rainbow dark rainbow something in it,
Yeah,
and then you
Rainbow.
put well it became yeah, it's pretty wicked. But
Mm-hmm.
what would you, if you would you, even though you don't see as yourself like not hero, but what type of power would you like to have or would have?
Um, hmm. I don't know. I know most people say flight, but I think like teleporting. Like you could do instant transmission like Goku, because I don't really like to travel much. But if I could just do that, just boom, that would be pretty cool. So maybe that's what I would choose. That's a tough one. There's a lot of different things. That'd be pretty
Oh
cool.
gosh. Um, hmm. When it comes to time travel, would you time travel, and which part of era would you time travel?
Um, I don't know. If I did, maybe I'd probably go back in time just a little bit because I remember someone asking me this before, and I was like, well, if you go too far back, then you're getting hit with a spear, or you're gonna die at 30. And the future, I don't know, as crazy as things are in the world right now, I don't know if I want to see the future. So maybe go back to the 90s. Because everyone's crazy these days for
Oh
most.
gosh.
So I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to like the 3000 or whatever.
Oh gosh. You think the world that we live in can change, or how can we help it to change? Just like we can see, it's not really good.
I think if just people understand each other, like try to listen to each other, because I feel like it's just well, both sides. I feel like these days I'm kind of more in the center on politically and everything, but
Mm.
I I just a lot of yelling. Both sides are nuts. They want there's never anyone agreeing on anything in the middle or trying to listen to the other. It's just no, we want it this way or that way. And I think if people just try to listen and just calm down a bit, things would get a lot better.
Thank you so much for that. What does success look like to you?
Uh, I don't know. For me, I'd like to just be able to take a day off every so often. So maybe that's what it is. Is success is whatever you can finally relax a bit, and I don't know, just make enough money so I can take care of my family. I guess maybe that's what it is.
Mm.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, thank you. Well, I mean, it can be anything because basically, because I feel like sometimes the millennials they get the message where success is like the material things. I don't know if you are, but like for me, I wanted to well, not tell, like to create, like you're a content creator. You're trying to get your message out there. You're trying to open that, right? What do you how I say this? How do I bring this into when it comes to your viewers and subscribers? What would you like to tell them? What message would you like to tell them that um, that if you what is would you like to tell them if you have the chance to tell them?
I think I'm trying to think how to word it really. My message is that I guess to just if you have an idea, try to make it happen. It doesn't matter what you got going on or whatever. Like I've said, with my anxiety and stuff, I never thought I'd be doing something like this. Anything
Right.
like that, and actually have that many people watching me. Again, I get nervous talking to one person. So just try to get out there, do what you want to do. Don't care what other people think on it, because most time people are just trying to, that it's just do what you think. If you have a good idea, go for it. You might as well. I mean, you got one life. You need to. I'm trying to find a way to say this without it being sappy, but just do what you want to do. You know, that's because again, this is just something to me that I never thought would be anything possible, especially with what what I got going on. And yeah, I mean, if you got a good idea, you want to do something, you want to make a change, whatever, go for it. I hope that sounds good. I'm not good at saying
Thank
it. I
you so
feel
much.
there's a message in there somewhere.
That's good, man. I enjoyed that. What was it? I had it. What was it? Well, I almost had it, but I lost it. But when it comes to, do you consider yourself as an entrepreneur? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I guess
Do
so.
you consider yourself as
Yeah, because that's one of the reasons I like doing this. I don't have a boss. You know, I guess YouTube kind of feels like one sometimes, but I created this myself. I mean, well, with of course, without you guys out there, it wouldn't work. But it's just I have a lot of pride in it because it was something I was able to do, and I've worked hard on it. You know, there's some nights I stay up late editing and all that, and yeah, I guess I would consider myself an entrepreneur. I guess all YouTubers really are. I mean, it's just cool that we're able to make our own job or do something we enjoy, and it can help us with life, make money to live, and you're doing something you like. So I guess I would consider myself one.
Thank you. Do you understand, since you make a ton of content, do you understand the algorithm, as most people don't understand the algorithm? Because I think I listened to you one of the talk about it. I don't know.
Kind of.
Do you?
I feel like we all are trying to figure out the algorithm. I feel like even like PewDiePie doesn't know the algorithm. Like they change it so much. It's insane. Like I'm sure he knows more than me. He has way better connections, I'm sure too. But I don't know if any of us know, because with YouTube it can just be this is how it works. Boom, new update. It's all gone. We're doing something completely different now. I do know that from what I've learned is you want to try to make simple thumbnails, and you want to try to hit that 10-minute mark if you can. But also, I don't like to drag on a video if I don't need to, because but for some reason YouTube likes 10-minute videos, and it seems like simple things usually really help. And of course, if you can clickbait and help with that too. I never did much of that, but I mean, I probably should. But yeah, I mean, obviously, the best advice I could give someone's like trying to figure out the algorithm is try to go for that 10 minutes without just trying to throw in stuff to make it that long. And just be informative and stuff too, because that will keep people listening and watching. And yeah, I mean, that's like what I understand. But again, I mean, I feel like with YouTube, you could think you know everything about it, and then the next day it all changes. So